in America, because poor people in America aren't really poor. They're just lazy slackers who own a lot of shit. This is a true story. I go over and he goes, Jimmy, do you know that 50% of the people in America who say they're poor own a microwave? I was like, you're kidding me, Danny. They think they're poor and they have the ability to warm up a Hot Pocket? That is bullshit. He goes, you know, 40% of the people in America who say they're poor own a washer and dryer? I'm like, you know, Danny, often I'll get up in the morning, walk over to my dryer and go, you know, not bad. And then my uncle chimes in, half of the people in America say they're poor own a TV. Jimmy, we didn't have a TV till I was in high school. That's because they weren't invented until you were in high school. You're old. Remember when you want to listen to music, you had to put a bird speak on a turntable. Remember that? That's a Flintstones reference. And the kids don't get that today because they don't show Flintstones cartoons anymore. And that's what's wrong with the country right now. That's what's wrong with the country. My brother hates Barack Obama. Hates him. Hates Barack Obama. Calls him Hitler all the time. He goes, that guy's like Hitler. I'm like, you must be watching different documentaries than I am. You know, how's he like Hitler? Because like Hitler, he's trying to take over the healthcare. You know, I'm pretty sure universal health insurance wasn't the problem people had with Hitler. I think there was a lot of shit in front of that day. Hey, did you hear Hitler invaded Poland? He's killing all the Jews. I hope I can choose my own doctor. He calls Barack Obama lucky all the time. He goes, he's lucky, nothing but lucky. I say you gotta be lucky to be a successful politician, but Barack Obama pushes it. He really does push the luck, right? Because like the first time he becomes president, right? He becomes president. The first day, day one, they gave him a Nobel Peace Prize. Remember that? They're like, here's your Peace Prize. He's like, I didn't do anything. Shut up. Shut up. Take it. So he takes the Peace Prize. He immediately ramped up the war in Afghanistan, started bombing Libya, and he put a hit on Osama bin Laden. And that's the thing about those Peace Prizes. Nobody ever tries to win a second one. I don't know, but they say the country's broke, right? You hear that all the time. Oh, the country's broke. The country's not broke. We're still the richest country in the world. America, richest country in the world. Our money's somewhere. Where is it, right? So I turn on the news to find out where all our money's been going. And the news guy told me the teachers took it. I fucking knew it. Goddamn money-grubbing teachers. Why else did you become a teacher unless you're greedy? Yeah, the teachers have all our money, but they're so sneaky, they still drive junky cars just to throw us off. Okay, there goes another teacher taking a sack of money out to their turf cell. Isn't that weird? People get angry at teachers. That is the economy's going along just fine. Everybody loves each other. And then all of a sudden the economy crashes. Hey, did you hear Wall Street crash? Fucking teachers. Why are people mad at teachers? It's just the weirdest. Even Barack Obama's angry at teachers. He says teachers make too much money. Barack Obama thinks teachers' pay should be tied to their performance. Right? Even though it's not their performance, right? It's a 40 little maniac sitting in front of them every morning. Their parents wake them up at the crack of dawn, fill them with a bowl full of sugar, a fistful of Ritalin, spin them around 10 times, and put them on a school bus. Hey, teach my kid math. You can't even teach your kid to shut the fuck up on an airplane. Yeah, if you guys flew more, that'd be a great show. It's the weirdest thing. Everybody's. I say we tie Barack Obama's pay to his performance. How about that? I say if he caves into Wall Street one more time, he doesn't get Secret Service after 5 o'clock. How about that? That joke is not popular in this room. Wouldn't it be fun if you were as informed as I was? And you could hate who I hated, and then we'd all enjoy this joke. Americans are so ignorant of foreign policy that people actually got pissed off that Dennis Rodman went to North Korea. Remember that? People were pissed off. Oh, fucking North Korea. Are you kidding me? George fucking Snuffleupagus had him on his show. He brings out Dennis Rodman on his show to grill him about his trip to North Korea. Really? This is the guy? Dennis Rodman shows up drunk wearing sunglasses. Are you shitting me? I'm fucking This Week with George stuff, and he goes, didn't you ask Kim Jong-un about any of his human rights abuses? He says this to Dennis Rodman. Didn't you ask Kim the toughest question I expect Dennis Rodman to ask is this North or South Korea?
Yes. Good.
That's a professional. I will say this. I'll say this. I think. I want to tell you about my dog. I started and I stopped because we were doing ticket booth at the stage. But I think you can tell a lot about a person how I feel about dogs. And anyway, my dog is getting old. He's 16. That's old for a dog. And so he's not feeling good, so we took him to the vet. And the vet goes, he's got a bad heart, you gotta give him these pills. He goes, I gotta warn you, these pills don't taste good, so you gotta sneak him into his treats. I'm like, don't worry about it. My dog eats out of the garbage. Don't worry about it. He'll eat, I don't have to sneak him in. He won't eat the pills. I try to give him the pills, I go to the vet, I go, my dog won't eat these pills, but my dog will literally eat his own shit. But he won't eat these pills. What are you putting in these pills that taste worse than shit? Hey, I have an idea. How about you just make the pills taste like shit? Because I can get them to eat that. And then the vet says to me, if you have a problem with your dog eating his own poop, they have a spray that makes it unappetizing. And I was like, I have a million questions. My first one is, what kind of a maniac scientist is sitting at home going, I have to invent something that tastes worse than shit? What are you working on, Bob? Double shit. And then let's say you did it. You pulled it off. You made double shit. How would you know? You gotta sneak it in on somebody? It's like, hey, Steve, you hungry? I made some pudding. Oh, I love pudding. That tastes like shit! But just shit? Or worse? I'm gonna read you a letter. And, Carl, how much time have I done?
You got about 3 minutes left.
Oh, really? So I've done like 12 minutes already?
Yeah, I think so.
Fucking feels longer. Anyway, way longer. Anyway, I thought this would be my hour album. Here we go. Let me make sure I know. Because I'm getting older, and I'm not good with technology. What is it about, nerds? People call themselves nerds. What is it about computers? By the way, if you call yourself a nerd and you can't fix my computer, you're just a dork. Okay? You're not actually worthwhile. And so, what is it about when you call a computer guy to fix something wrong? They can't just tell you how to fix it. They have to tell you every way possible. You know what I'm talking about? I call this guy, and I go, hey, I'm trying to extract some audio from an email someone sent me, and I want to put it into a video program. How do I do that? He goes, well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. I just want to know the one way. Can you just tell me the one way? I just want to know the one way. Just tell me one way to do it, I'll do that. He goes, well, it depends on what you're running. I'm running what you're running. Whatever the fuck you're running, I'm running. He goes, well, if I was you, I'd go in the back door. Okay, I don't want to sneak around my computer, okay? I'm not a pervert going in the front door. Just tell me how to do it. Just fucking tell me. They won't tell you. I do a podcast, and I wanted to add some video to my podcast. So I call this guy and go, hey, I'm thinking of adding video to my podcast. What would I need for that? He goes, well, it depends on what you want. I want to add video. I'm joking. And I don't know. That's the weird thing about getting older. Like technology passes you by. And I don't have kids. My wife and I, we don't have kids. We forgot to have kids. And people kept inviting us to parties. And we're busy on the weekends and shit. So anyway, we're gonna adopt now. So we're gonna adopt a kid. And my wife is pissed off. You can choose. They'll let you choose what kind of kid you want. Like you can they have a form you pick. And my wife was pissed off because I said I wanted a 14-year-old Asian who was good at video editing. And I think that joke would have went a lot better had I not walked in. Probably would have went as good as that joke about the joke not going as good. God, fuck, damn, that's a tough place to perform. And professional. And I'm gonna wrap it up. Jim, why would you? Why would you wrap this up? No reason. No reason. I want to make sure. Tech guy. Oh, did I tell you my brother got prostate cancer? Yeah. So my older brother David, was the vice president of White Castle. Right? He's been eating hamburgers his whole goddamn life, and I've been, doing the thing I'm supposed to do, and I'm eating salads and shit that I hate. And he gets prostate cancer, and I'm like, And because he called me up, he goes, hey, I got prostate cancer. I'm supposed to tell everybody you're supposed to go get tested. So I go to my doctor, and it turns out, do you know that if your father has prostate cancer, it's a 50-50 chance that you'll get prostate cancer. But if your brother has prostate cancer, it's almost guaranteed that you'll get prostate cancer. And they're like, oh, great, now I'm going to get cancer because of my fucking brother David. I'm going to read, because normally what happens when you do a comedy show like this, or any kind of comedy show, is you do the show, and then it's over, and everyone goes home. And then you wake up the next day, and it's a new day. And but now there's the internet. So people can, it doesn't end there. So I was doing a show in Boston a couple of years ago, and I'll get it.
Gotcha.
I'll get it. Thank you.
Yeah, you will.
And so I was doing a show, and like in the second row, there was a young lady texting, right? And whatever her phone, it was like a little mini campfire. It was this big, and I noticed it, and I thought, well, she'll put it down in a second, and I'll move on. But she just had it up there. She's just like, and it was distracting. It was distracting me. I could see it. I could see her face. I could see the people. So I kind of let it go. Then after a couple of minutes, I go, hey, if anybody has anything that they haven't taken care of yet today, now would be a good time. Like if you have some mail you want to open, or if you have a few bills you want to pay, or look, if you have somebody to text, like this lady right here, go ahead and text. Right, so that's the joke, right? I have to explain it to you. But, so that's the joke. And it was everybody, and I might have said, whatever, maybe, hey, no problem, maybe your parents didn't raise you right. Or something like that, Like a joke, right? People giggled, and we moved on. She stopped, and it was great. So I did the rest of my show, and it was that. So the next day I wake up, and there's an email. Hello. I caught your show in Boston last weekend. I was in town with my girlfriend to visit her dying grandfather at Mass General Hospital. I decided to take her to a comedy show to lighten the mood of an otherwise depressing weekend. During her show, she received a text message from a friend asking how her grandfather was doing. She decided to send a reply. That is when you stopped your show and called her rude. She was very embarrassed, to the point of bursting into tears. She very rarely sends text messages. My love. Well, I agree that this was not the best time to send a text message. I think you were a little harsh. Her sending a message doesn't take away from your show one bit. It's a passive act. It didn't bother anyone, except apparently you. She's a very sweet and somewhat naive girl. We had never been to a comedy show before. She did not intend to disrupt your act or disrespect you in any way. You're a very funny comedian. Well, he's got something there. He's not a complete asshole. He goes, I think perhaps you could change that part of your act to make it more of a joke than being mean about it. You don't always know the circumstances behind the reasons people have for doing what they do. Thank you, Greg. So he thinks he really got me, right? Because I didn't know that girl's grandfather was dying. And I'm probably going to feel like an asshole after he told me. But what he didn't know is that I was brought up in an abusive family. I have zero sympathy. I have to hang on. I'm going to give you my response in a second, please. Don't get mad at me and leave. Hey, Greg. Sorry about your girlfriend, and sorry about her grandpa. My niece actually died last Tuesday of a brain tumor. True story. Oh, no. She was 12, and it was horrible and heartbreaking. I actually have a disease of my bones that has collapsed 5 of my vertebrae since 2006. So I guess what I'm trying to say, Greg, is that your girlfriend's pain is ordinary. And texting during a show is extremely distracting and rude. It was distracting to the people sitting behind her, beside her, and oh yeah, it was distracting to the performer doing a show 5 feet in front of her. No cell phone use during live performances, no matter what the circumstances, and no matter what the rude person doing the inappropriate behavior thinks. That would be you and your girlfriend. In case you didn't get the memo, Greg, when you're at a live performance, they make an announcement that says, so you don't disrupt the performers or the audience members seated around you, we ask you please turn off your cell phones and pagers. That doesn't come with the disclaimer of, unless you have someone really sick in your family, and you almost never send a text anyway. And if only if you are so self-involved and unaware that you think holding your illuminated phone at eye level for minutes at a time and texting for what seems like an eternity is not distracting, then you can go ahead and text. Get up, go outside the room, you idiot, and don't bother performers when you act rude. By the way, I did handle it with humor, unless you choose to pretend that everyone didn't laugh hysterically when I pointed out how fucking ridiculous your girlfriend was being, and then when I went on to point out how absolutely rude it was, they howled again. I did handle it in a nice way, Greg, and a funny way. So grow up, asshole. Instead of apologizing, you have the balls to ask for one yourself. So here it is. I'm sorry you and your self-centered girlfriend are rude douchebags with a victim mentality who don't have the good sense to apologize when they are inappropriate in public, and so they have to be set straight twice by the same fucking guy. You should go home tonight and slap your parents. They did a horrible job of raising you. Please stay out of comedy clubs. Hilariously, Jimmy Dore.